Hello. Right, this is one of the classes again, or like the kind of routine that I used to put on in lockdown, the core blitz. And I used to always think, wow, this is so hard. And I remember just watching everyone's core strength get so much better and thinking, but they are so much stronger than me right now. So that's this kind of thing. Um, Take as many breaks. There's no breaks in this, but take them when you need, especially if you feel it in the wrong place. We're moving slowly in this workout. So let's start on our backs. Lie down on your back. We're just starting with pelvic tilts, just to kind of warm up the abs. So you're just pulling your hip bones towards your rib cage and then pulling it apart. So it's a really nice simple bit, just warming up. Just kind of closing the gap between your ribs and your hips and then pulling it away again. So you should just feel your lower back kind of lengthen, get really long. Your lower back moves slightly closer to the floor, maybe into the floor, and then moves away again. This is your ab brace. Whenever you hear an instructor say brace your abs, this pelvic tilt, that's what you're doing. So it's just closing the gap between ribs and hips, or not closing it completely. Oh, minimizing the gap. So just tilting. Now try just holding and pausing for a little bit. Pause. Contract so hard as if you're ready for someone to kind of like just slap you in the stomach and you're like, oh, and you're prepared for it. And then release it, and then just do that again. So pull in, brace as hard as possible. So now getting into crunches. Just tuck your chin in, look through your thighs, bring the hands on top of the thighs. You're just going to curl your body up slowly and lower down. So just peeling the shoulders off the floor and then lowering them down. So the difference between a crunch and a sit-up is where you keep your lower back on the floor and it's just the upper body that's moving. A sit-up, you'll sit up all the way and so you just got your bum left on the floor. So keep it smooth. It's easier to kind of like use momentum here. What I've got in my head every time is Ellie seems like yeeting yourself up, but it's slow and it's squeezy. If you do find you get pain in your neck, first check your chin is tucked and you're not doing lots of neck crunches here by dropping the head down. And if you need to, just slightly use your fingertips to support your head. Just maybe pushing in rather than yanking the neck down. And we're just going to come up, go down just an inch, up again, and then down all the way. So it's two top half pulses. I mean, we go up for one, down a little bit, up for two, and down all the way. So crunching up for one, down a smidge, up again, and down all the way. You're going to be tempted here to go up and all the way down. You're trying to resist gravity, just coming down a smidge, and then coming down all the way. Again, there's no break. So if you're just like, oh my God, my abs are on fire, just take a little break, take a little stretch, and then come back in. I'm hoping at this stage, just kind of still not warming up as such, we're definitely working, but not within the most taxing part of the workout. Slide the hands up the thighs, down just a little bit, up again and down all the way. And your target eventually is trying to get the hand to the top of the knee. If you're not there, don't worry about it. That's the journey you're aiming to get towards it. Right, give the abs a break, hip bridges up and down. So you're just going to have your feet about hip width apart, exactly as they are. Squeeze your butt, lift your hips up and lower your hips down. So looking for that pelvic tilt again, and then lifting the hips up before you lower down. So the first thing is hips towards ribs, and then lift the hips away. And we're trying to avoid pulling the hips away from the ribs, so flaring out the abs here, but instead keeping them close, even if that means hips a little bit lower. And that's going to hopefully keep your abs braced. Well, hopefully, that is going to keep your abs braced and keep some tension in the booty. So just peeling up and rolling down. So you're looking for your bum to be the first thing to leave the floor, and then lower back and then the mid back, and then reverse the direction down. So peeling up, clench your butt, peeling down. Just warming up the butt. So the butt and the abs, two things that are really strong for supporting the spine. We've got the same thing again, we go two top half pulses. So we lift up all the way, down a smidge, up again, and then down all the way. So up one, down a bit, up again two, down all the way. One and two. Keeping it again, it's slow movement. We're never going to move fast in this class today. So it's moving slow and controlled, feeling the muscles in the right place. So if you're feeling this in your hamstrings, that's the backs of the legs or your quads, feel free to just move and change the position of your feet a little bit, or take a break, hug your legs in, and then come back in again and really try and get that clench of your butt before you even lift your hips up. If you're not feeling the bum, try poking the bum. And if you're not feeling the bum by the end of this, you should really just maybe focus on doing some more butt exercises. Butt exercises. Right, we're going back into the abs. So back to the crunches. So tuck your chin, look through your thighs, and then curl your body up and lower down. So you've had a little bit of a break. Still keeping it smooth. Maybe now you've had that break, you're able to come up a little bit higher. You can target this hands to the top of the knees. So just spot a bit on your leg and try and hit that bit by squeezing there. You're always going to get to that point, especially when you're fatigued, where we move up a bit quicker and then just kind of let your body dump down. And we're trying to get it squeezed up and resist down. Whoa. Whoa. I get abs on fire. Maybe get in there. Just squeeze it, get the release at the bottom of each rep on this one, so maybe it's not so awful. And this time we're going to do top half crunch pulses, the whole time staying at the top. So just lift and down a little bit, lift and down a little bit, lift and down a little bit, and lift and down a little bit. So you're going to be tempted to come down. You might have to come down. You might have to be like, oh gosh, I need a break. And then get back in when you can. But if you can, it's the entire minute just staying in the top inch of the range. And you're squeezing and squeezing. And it's a bit like with your abs. Like you're just trying to squeeze it an extra few inches each time. So it's squeezing, it's crunching. It's a crunching movement, like crunching something together rather than pulsing like this. So squeezy. And you're halfway. I need to sneeze. Yeah, right now they're kind of towards the upper part of your abs should be really burning and fatiguing. Maybe they're shaking a little bit. If they're not, can you try and get them to just by squeezing out that extra millimeter higher? Just another 5 seconds to go. Try and stay right at the top. And let's get that little break of the abs. Go back into the hip bridges. So squeeze your butt and just start here by lifting up and down. We're just going to mimic what we did on the front to the back. So just starting with the up and down movement and then going into the top half pulses. So I'm just going to back and lift. Never worrying how high your hips are lifting, but just where you're feeling the booty. Like you're picking something up off the floor and trying to keep hold of it at the top before then you release it and let it go at the bottom. And this is where I get to find out what you care about. So for me, I'd be picking up pound coins, to be honest. Just pick that up between the butt cheek. But maybe you want more like a £5, £10, £20, £50 note is always good. Rarely see them. I wonder if in the future we're going to have no money. Never have cash anymore. By no money, I really hope I mean physical money, not no money. I hope for me and you. Hold the hips up, and then we pulse, just lift in, lower down a little bit, lift and lower down a little bit. So it's a full minute, and it should be that you're squeezing your bum a lot, and then you squeeze it even more. So you're squeezing a lot, and you squeeze it even more. So it's never that it's releasing as you lower your hips a little bit. You're still squeezing it a lot. And then just clenching even harder to try and get that extra inch out of it. There is a PT that says something really inappropriate, and actually I just don't have the confidence to say what he says about getting up the extra inch. I'll just say that, getting the extra inch. Oh, I don't know about you, my bum is burning. See if you can put a little bit more pressure into your feet on the floor. So really drive them down. Be really active by pushing down into the floor and really actively squeezing your bum harder than you want to squeeze it. You just got 5 more seconds left and we're coming back into the abs. Yeah, nice. Oh, come on down. Tuck the chin, crunch up and down. The first few reps, they should always feel like really nice. They should be like, right, cool. Just lifting and lowering. And then by the time you get to a full minute, it's where it starts. Or maybe before then. This is round 3. I'm already feeling it. And again, if it is your neck that's feeling the most, and you're here like, oh, my neck is killing, please do just support your head with one or both hands. Your neck as a muscle is also something that just will get stronger with practice. Your head weighs quite a lot. It's got your whole brain in there. So it does weigh a lot. But your neck is still good and important to strengthen it. So always start without holding and supporting the neck, and then go as long as you can. And then if you get to that point where you're stuck, then you support it, and hopefully it gets longer and longer. Yeah, having strong neck. So I know we're working on the core here, but having the strong neck just helps with things like if you were to get, I don't know, pushed over or what's it called, like whiplash, anything like that. Just strong neck. Hold up at the top. Just hold the crunch. Hold in, and holding. Breathe in. And you've got to pay special attention here. I've got to come out of this because otherwise I'm not going to be able to talk. So pay special attention. So notice where you've reached on your leg and try not to let your hands go any lower than that point, because they're going to gradually get to the point they're like lower as you get tired. So breathe in. As you breathe out, just think crunch a little bit higher, then move a bit higher up again. Try and hold that place. You're coming up halfway. If you found that your shoulders are just now completely on the floor, do just take the break. I'd rather you take the break and then come back in, breathe out, and then come up higher, then try and maintain that height. Every time you exhale, just think about squeezing abs a little bit harder, so you just stay that same height and resist the urge to come down. This is the final round on the abs. So we're going to really finish them off now. Stay at the top if you can, and then pulse and pulse and pulse. You thought you were done, but you've got an extra minute. So it's 3 minutes continuous. Pulsing in the top of the range. But I promise after this minute, there's no more on the abs at all. We do ass, and then we're going to do kind of ass at the side of the waist. So you can afford to just stay up here and crunch and crunch. Pulse and let it burn and let it shake. Make it so your whole body is on fire. Not whole body, your whole abs. I see you suddenly done a little bit faster. It doesn't matter how fast you go. There's a timer here. There's a timer, so it's just going to be the time. So keep it slow and squeezy. Oh my God. Less than 20 seconds to go. Use your out breath to try and crunch a little bit higher. Get just that extra half inch out of it. Final 10 seconds. Bam. 3, 2, 1. Oh, maybe a little arch in the back, and then as soon as you can into the hip bridges. So we're just going to mimic that exact same set for 3 minutes on the booty. So hip bridge up and down. Squeeze your butt. I forgot to turn down. I can turn down the timers. I've just realised I forgot to do that. But the one positive thing that comes from it, if you know me, is because it's already I've preset this workout. So I've planned it, I've typed it in, I've put in all the rest, I've put in the amount of time, etc. And then the timer just runs. Now, if you're ever just coming to a class for me, there's a decent chance you'll hear me partway through the class go, oops. And if you know me long enough, you've had that before and you know exactly what it means. It means I've got to start the timer. So at least this way, even if you're not a huge fan of the beeper, you know that the timer is going and there's never going to be take time. There's never going to be me going, whoops, where I've not time to do an extra minute or so. So just going to hold the hip bridge at the top. Just hold. Again, not too worried about how high your hips are. So get that stretch of the abs that I know you want. Keep the hips and ribs close to each other and clench the butt. Clench it. Again, If you don't feel the bum, start to maybe punch the bum, poke the bum until your brain knows like this is the muscles that we're working. And every time you exhale, think drive your heels a little bit harder into the floor, either the balls of the feet. Just holding, and you are fully in control of how hard you contract your booty. So if you're thinking like, oh, can't really be bothered today, and just relaxing it and just holding in place by you just using your legs, then just think, why did you come? Clench, clench, clench. So now you've got this pound coin between your butt cheeks, and you've got to try not let it just plop out onto the floor. So you're holding it, or if you're like, kind of more advanced, you're holding a phone between your butt cheeks, and that is weighty. It's going to try and fall down. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. You're so nearly there. You've got another 5 seconds, and then we're going to stay up if you can, and just do the top half pulses. So let's go, top half pulses. Just lift a little bit, down a little bit, lift a little bit, down a little bit. Really make the main meaty part of the butt be on fire. And I don't know if you noticed, but one thing I said was like, there's no rest in this. And there keeps being 10-second rest. And I don't remember planning that. So I just talked through it, not told you about it, in the hope that you're not noticing and you're just staying up with me and keeping in the workout. Oh dear, I'm new to this at the moment. I'm new, big clench, how's the butt? Oh my God, mine is absolutely burning. Not as bad as the booty burner challenge. If you tried that, you'll know what I mean. If you've not tried that, give it a go. It's banded and it's brutal. Which, by the way, if you ever do want to go through this one again, but have a band around you just above the knees, then feel free, especially for the next section. We are nearly there, final 15 seconds. I'm trying to just chat through the fact that this is killer. Killer. How hard can you clench? Got a final 6 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Aye. And hold. What? The one thing I said to myself today was like, Helen, you need to actually go back through your workout before you film it so you fully remember what you've done. It's another hold. Oh. Oh my God, I think my bum's starting to shake. I'm trying to think of pick that up. So one final hold, and then I think we move on to our side. I feel like me, I've really felt like I was at that point in my limit of my bum, but still trying to be active, driving the heels into the floor, catching how your bum is a really big muscle, so it can afford to get this burn. It's one of those muscles for me that just burns unlike any other muscle at all. Final 10 seconds. Come on, don't be lying. I feel like I'm now just in this with you, like not knowing, even though I planned it. Got 3 seconds. They're holding again. Now this time, this is the one that if you've got a band, push your knees out against it. If not, you're just with me, just going to press out into the air. Just pressing out and in, pressing out and in. So holding at the top and pressing the knees out and in. Now this is more, so the main part of the bum is really tight. Now getting to the side part of the bum. See, I remember why I'm doing this. So getting to the side part of the bum to warm it up for the next round. So push your knees as hard as you can if you've got a band. If not, just as wide as you can without just trying to roll around into the edge of the feet. So keeping the feet in place, just the knees pull apart, knees pull apart. If this does any more hip bridge stuff, I'm going to quit. Right, final 10 seconds. Right on the edge of the boat, right on the edge, right on the edge, right on the edge. 5 more seconds, still don't forget to clench the bum. 3, 2, 1. Yes! Finally, hug your knees in, just roll onto your side, any side. You can be propped up on your forearm or like just flat. You bend your knees so your shins are kind of parallel to the floor a little bit, and then stack your feet, stack your knees, and you're just going to lift the top knee up and lower down. So this is why we did that final round, just to get the side of the bum, and that's what we're targeting now, side of the bum. Now, with your clamps, your feet stay together, and then your knees just pulling apart, And then your hips want to stay stacked. So be mindful not to just lift up really high and open your hips. And then just hold the knee up. So keep your hand onto like your hip bone, keep rolling your hip forwards. Again, I'm not ever worried about how high the knee is apart. Just thinking about feeling the squeeze of the side of your bum and keeping your pelvis safe, stable. And that's what a lot of core exercises are, is just maintaining a neutral spine and a level pelvis as you move your legs away, whether weighted or body weight. And this again, by the way, is if you've got a band, feel free to add the band above your knees and you're going to get a way extra challenge on the band. But if not, it's just constantly squeezing into the side of the butt here. Nice, so now we're going to just pulse at the top half. So keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. And you're just going to knee a little bit higher, lower down a little bit. Lift a little higher, lower down a little bit. It's not for too long. So these have just dropped to 30 seconds because I'm nice. We are going to be moving into side planks. For me, I quite like a side plank. I appreciate lots of people don't find it a bit tiring on the shoulders. So I've dropped it down to 30 seconds. So just lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering just a tiny bit. In the point where, again, it means that your hips are still level, your hips are still stacked, your pelvis doesn't move, but you are feeling the squeeze of the side of the booty. Alright, so now we're coming to a side plank with a hip dip. So you have your forearm underneath you. You're welcome to do it with your hands if you like. You can do this on your knees, so just going to lift your waist away from the floor and then lift your hips up. Bottom knee is bent and the top leg is straight. Or if you want to advance it, you are up on the toes. But the hip dip is where you're going to dip your hip towards the floor and then lift away. If you are staggering your feet, you want the top foot in front. If not, you stack your feet one on top of the other. Feel your hip drop towards the floor, and then it's a squeeze at the side of the waist to lift your hips as high up away from the floor as you can manage. And then we're just going to hold side plank, just hold. So we're mimicking exactly what we did with clams, but now working the side of the waist. Just holding up. And again, you could be on toes. And then if you're like, oh no, I can't hold it on my toes anymore, something is too uncomfortable, feel free to pop down to your knees. If it is too much, you can have your hips down. But the main thing is that your waist is lifting. It's pushing through here. It's if you're trying to make enough space under here for someone to crawl underneath. So really lift as high as you can manage. There's absolutely nothing wrong with modifying a move. So now we're going to do the top half pulse. This is where it's only 30 more seconds to go. So just lift your hips up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit, and down a little bit. Oh, I had a great kick on my elbow. Up a little bit, down a smidge, up a bit, and down a smidge. So again, just like everything else, it's been squeezy, squeezy, squeezy. Feel the squeeze of the side of your waist to just lift up in those top inches. Like 15 seconds to go, less than. So we've done the abs, we've done the booty, like the back of the booty. Now we're doing side of the back and side of the waist. All the muscles that support your spine. 3 seconds, and 2, and 1. Nice. Right, we're running over to the other side. So come to the other side, planche. Choose your position if you want to be propped up or lying flat. Bend the knees, top knee lifts and lowers. So you can use your hand off the floor for a little bit of support and to help encourage you staying rolling forwards rather than rolling back. So if you find your hip bones are pointing up towards the ceiling, you're going to try and roll them forward until they're pointing towards the screen. And if that means you move your knee just an inch or less, that's perfect. Hold it up. Holding. You feel free to just check which way the hip bones are pointing. They could be pointing forwards and stacked. Anyone doing this with a band? I thought about it and I got too nervous after the booty burner, so I didn't. Don't let your fear take over your progress. 10 more seconds to go. Clenching, side of the back, clenching, clench, right in here, clench. Top half little pulses, just lifting it a little bit higher from there, so squeeze, and squeeze, and squeeze. And be really mindful, if you do have one side that you're able to squeeze and activate more than the other side. For me, it's always my right side is the strong one, my left side, my left bum is the weak one, and it's where I get all of my injuries on down my left side. And then normally, one of the first things I can do to sort them is strengthening my bum. So if you ever want to do this workout again and you think, oh, I don't feel it on one side, maybe even try pausing the timer until you feel it engage and catch on, and then start the timer. Yeah, right, side plank hip dip. So let's bring your forearm underneath you, or again, feel free to be up on the hands. For me, that's a bit unnecessary on the wrists, and we don't have to be there. Find it either on your knee down or up on the toes. Drop your hip down towards the floor and then lifting away. Dropping down and lifting away. So the movement that you're kind of getting is it's dropping towards the floor, and then as you pull away, again, it's like ribs and hips towards each other. So it's ribs and hips towards each other. You're stretching out the side and then squeezing it. So when we did the crunch, it was ribs and hips down the front of the body, and now it's crunch but down the side of the body. And then hold it up. Knees or toes, but wherever you are, be really forceful with your forearm on the floor or hand on the floor so you feel really strong and stable in the shoulder. And check that it's stacked. Check that you've not got your arm way out in front here. That's going to take a lot of pressure more into the chest and shoulder joint, but keep it right stacked underneath you. Who loves a side plank? I quite do, quite do like a side plank. Doesn't offend me too much. I say, I'm definitely tired now. Top half little pulses, so just lift the hips a little bit higher, and then lower, a little higher, a little lower, a little higher, and a little lower. Thinking again about your side hip and your side rib, and closing the gap between them, getting as minimal gap as possible, and then you should feel that pinching, that squeezing in the side of your waist. And all the core muscles that wrap around the spine. Like I say, it's working across the body, diagonally, working straight up and down in the lower back and the bum. Oops, losing grip. You got 6 seconds to go, and then the good news is we get to do it all again. Yeah, come to clowns on the other side. Second time round, so yeah, if you didn't grab a band you wanted to, feel free to now. Stack your shoulders, stack your hips. And then go, lift in and lower in. Everything about me is like, just do it, Helen. But again, it's not actually my workout. This is really a workout for you. And if I do it, I'm just going to have to wander off and leave you guys to it. While I grab a band. Plus, it hurts anyway. If you're not feeling the side of the bum, just again, the main thing is to check where your hip bone's pointing, and maybe just give it a poke. Hold it up. So I'm mindful that I sing a lot all the time without realizing. And one thing I've been trying not to do is sing in the workouts. Just because when I upload it, it gets like copyright check. And I just imagine if I can't put it up because I've stolen someone's music. But so far I have sung every time, and it's not recognised. Slightly offends me and my singing voice. Because don't you know it's been a choir, darling? Top pulse, just squeeze a little bit extra from it and lower down, a little bit extra from it, lower down, without letting the hips or pelvis move. So teeny tiny movement, teeny tiny squeeze, keep your hips and pelvis in place as much as possible. Can you see how small my movement is? So small, and yet the burn is real. By the way, this is round 2 of 2 on this side. So yeah, you can afford to give some. You know it's going to be 3 rounds now, don't you? Oh, I really don't think it was. Nice. Oh, release, lift up the side plank hip dip. So it's the same side that you're lying on, and just lifting the hips up and down. Choose if you're on knee or toes. But lift your hips up, drop the hips towards the floor. I always recommend starting on the toes, because the worst thing that happens if you try lifting off and you think, oh no, I can't do that, and then you bend your knee and you come here. But the worst thing that actually could happen is that you never try, And then you never know that you might be capable, more capable than you realise. So always give it a go at the start of every round. And then, yeah, like I say, the worst thing that happens is you don't do it. The best thing that happens is you do it, and next time you do it longer than this time. Hold the side plank, just hold. This should be harder this time, so obviously it's the second time through. Also, now the side bum from doing the clams, so your side bum as well as your side waist is holding you up, and it should be a bit more tired. My side is on fire. I'm really panicking, by the way, that it's 3 rounds. Give me your votes, scale of 1 to 10. How unprofessional has been this workout that I've not known what's coming? As a surprise as you, top half little pulses, little lift, little lift, little lift in the top inch, all lift. Oh, another click. I'm so clicky in my elbow today. Teeny tiny squeezes at the top of the range. Na, na, na. Yes, the song. Na 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 na. Oh, I might even have to drop down. I love that I banged on about how great I am at side plank. Got 10 more seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Roll over. Other side. Set yourself up. Bend the knees. Stack the hips. Literally the most common thing I ever see is when people are like, oh, I don't feel it in the right place. And it's literally the position, that slight position from here to then being stacked. By the way, I've had clients cancel this morning, so I'm doing this in the morning. I don't do mornings. I'm not a morning person. Hold the leg up. So I'm finding this really tough. Really tough to work out in the morning. When do you prefer to work out? Morning? Lunch? Evening? Just weekends? For me, the ideal is like 10:30, 11 in the morning. So really I need to have no job so I can do that. That means you can get up, have a nice sleep, have breakfast, let it settle, then you do a workout, and then it's not long and you get to eat again. But if I'm going to choose morning or evening, it's always going to be evening for me. Top half little pulses, little pulse, little pulse, a little pulse. And I used to teach spin classes really early in the morning when I worked at David Lloyd. Really early in the morning, like I think it was like 6 in the morning, 6:30. I used to feel physically sick. Oh, it's too much. And I used to say to the members, like, it's the music. The music's too loud, I think, yes. And they'd be like, turn it up. Just not for me. Not a morning person. Only 5 more seconds to go. And it is. This is the last time on this side. I am right. So, coming up to your side plank. Side plank with a hip dip. Set the shoulder. Set the waist. And then we're lifting the hips up and lowering down. So if you're now getting to the point where you're like, oh, I kind of want to be on the toes and not like knees is a bit too much of a regression, then try fully resting the hip down and then lifting up and then fully resting down and lifting up. And that also applies on the knees. Rather than taking a break, take a mini break and then lift and then lower down. Have a full rest down before you lift and lower again. That way you're still working, still doing the level that you're right, just with a little extra break. If you can, just like kissing the hip on the floor. Hold it up. Knees or toes. One thing I'm not talking about is head alignment. Watch out that your head isn't just completely floppy here. So again, give the strength to the side of the neck to hold yourself up. What's been the worst bit for you so far? Your abs, your ass, side of your ass, or the side planks? Whatever's the worst part is normally the bit that you want to work on. We want to be quite even across the whole lot. Top half, little pulses, little lift at the top, little lower, lift at the top, and little lower. Knees or toes. 30 seconds to go. And that is it. Then we're just going to do a really quick stretch. So wherever option you're at, just make sure the side of your waist really burns and you're at the place that means you feel the most challenged, but you can get to the end of the final 15 seconds. 10 more seconds to go. Go on, go on, go on, go on, go on. 3, 2, 1. Oh, and release. And we're just going to stretch. Take a full body stretch. So what I mean by that is just lie down on your back. Stretch your arms over your head. Stretch your legs away. And just keep reaching away with the fingers and the toes. Getting your body as long as possible. And arching your back away from the floor. Yes. Yeah, feel the stretch of your abs. Best bit, re-lengthen your muscles. Okay, so now just hug your knees in towards you. So bring the knees in, hug them in, and you can either just hold here and you should feel a little release of your back. Maybe you want to bring your head up towards your knees, or maybe keep the head relaxed down and just take a few rolls and circles in opposite directions. You might want to just roll side to side, or maybe a little bit of a rock forward and back. Make sure you're rounding your back if you're doing that. Just something to make your back feel really good and released. Nice. And I'm going to just take a stretch on the bum. So pop one foot down towards the floor. The other ankle is going to cross over the knee. Push the knee away, and then you just, if this is plenty, you're just going to hold here. If not, you can grab the thigh with the foot from the floor and pull the leg in towards you. So stretching the bum from the hip bridges and the clams. So you should feel it. The leg that's bent and crossed over, that's the bum you want to feel it in. So pull the leg towards you as you push your bum towards the floor. And then just switching over to the other side to finish. So just relax the knee forward, cross the ankle over, and then pull the leg in. That's amazing. So that is done. Half hour pure on the core. Hope you feel good. Sorry for being misleading and forgetting the workout. Hopefully you still had a good workout. As you guys, I'll keep doing more core ones. There's loads of different core workouts we can do. So I'll keep on adding more and more and more and more and more. And they're quite nice because you don't need a massive warm up or stretch after. But yes, well done. And see you soon.